Attention passionate New York Giants fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on New York Giants' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave division rivals stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true New York Giants fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and other New York Giants fans. Let's get to the news. If there's one thing that's been keeping Giants fans on edge this offseason, it's the potential shakeup in the secondary. The Giants have historically prioritized building a formidable defense, especially since the days of their legendary 2007 Super Bowl winning unit, which was anchored by a dominant secondary and a relentless pass rush. The 2022 and 2023 seasons, however, revealed some defensive vulnerabilities, particularly in the passing game, which this offseason aims to address aggressively. And right now, the buzz is all about this high-stakes trade rumor involving Jaylon Johnson from the Chicago Bears. The word is that the Giants are seriously eyeing Johnson, and the talks are heating up, with reports pointing to a trade that could see a first-round pick in the 2026 draft plus a fourth-rounder in 2027 heading to Chicago. The goal? Bolstering that cornerback position that's been a bit of a sore spot, especially after some lapses in coverage last season, notably from Deonte Banks and a few other defensive backs. The Giants finished last season with a disappointing 6-11 record, which was a step back from their playoff appearance in 2022. Their pass defense was bottom third in the league, allowing an average of 228 passing yards per game, ranking 22nd overall. That's not acceptable for a team aiming for a playoff run, especially given the NFC East's competitiveness, which has been fierce with the Eagles, Cowboys, and Commanders all fielding strong units. Adding a player like Johnson could be the missing piece that transforms the secondary into a legitimate top 10 unit. Imagine a duo of Banks and Johnson locking down wide receivers, forcing quarterbacks to hold onto the ball longer or settle for shorter completions. That kind of coverage can drastically reduce the number of big plays allowed, which is crucial in close games and playoff battles. Now, let's break down what makes Johnson such a hot commodity right now. For starters, he's coming off a very solid 2025 season, having played all 16 games with the Bears. He snagged 5 interceptions, which is impressive for a cornerback, and also had 16 pass deflections. His stats show a guy who's not just making plays but also limiting the opposing offense's success, allowing just 39% completions against him and earning a stellar PFF grade of 92.7. For context, PFF grades are a significant metric in evaluating player performance, and anything above 90 is considered elite. Johnson's EPA per target, which measures how much he helps reduce the expected points from passes thrown his way, was 42, meaning he's actively making plays that cut down the offense's efficiency. His man coverage win rate is a solid 79%, allowing only 1 touchdown all season. These are the kind of numbers that make a coach's heart race, especially when you're trying to turn around a defense that struggled last year. Johnson's ability to consistently shut down top-tier receivers is backed by his athleticism. Standing 60, weighing around 195 pounds, he combines agility with strength, allowing him to stay with receivers vertically and in breaks. His ball skills, evidenced by the 5 interceptions, demonstrate high awareness and playmaking ability. Furthermore, Johnson's ability to play press coverage effectively disrupts timing routes, which can throw off an entire passing attack. The reason the Giants are so interested is clear. They finished 6-11 last season, and their pass defense was bottom third in the league, allowing an average of 228 passing yards per game, ranking 22nd overall. That's not acceptable for a team aiming for a playoff run, especially given the NFC East's competitiveness. Adding a player like Johnson could be the missing piece that transforms the secondary into a top-tier unit. Imagine a duo of Banks and Johnson locking down wide receivers, forcing quarterbacks to hold onto the ball longer or settle for shorter completions. That coverage can drastically reduce the number of big plays allowed, which is crucial in close games. And talking about impact, Johnson's presence could also elevate the Giants' overall pass defense stats. They could see a drop of around 16% in passing yards allowed, bringing that number down to approximately 195 yards per game, a significant improvement. Plus, with Johnson in the fold, the number of interceptions could climb by around 14%, generating more turnovers and giving the offense more opportunities to score. That's a recipe for a team that wants to contend deep into January. His addition might also help the Giants create a more aggressive pass rush, knowing they have a reliable shutdown corner to cover their opponent's best receivers. Now, there's a lot of talk about the Bears' stance here. Chicago isn't exactly eager to give Johnson away without a fight. The Bears finished 7-10 last year, and their secondary was pretty leaky, ranking 25th in the league with an average of 26. 4 points allowed per game. They're also in a bit of a cap crunch, with around $11 million in cap space for 2026, which complicates their ability to rebuild quickly. Chicago's focus seems to be on developing their offensive line, especially after the Caleb Williams saga, and they're likely looking to build around their new quarterback with younger, cheaper talent. Johnson's $20 million cap hit is steep, but for a player of his caliber, teams are generally willing to pay that premium if it means turning the defense around. For the Giants, with about $35 million in cap space, this move is more feasible financially, and it signals their serious intent to push for a playoff spot and beyond. From a strategic standpoint, adding Johnson could make the Giants' secondary a top-tier unit. The stats speak for themselves, with a projected improvement in pass yards allowed, and the potential to generate more turnovers, which is vital in the high-stakes environment of the NFL playoffs. The impact on the field could be enormous, especially considering the way defenses are winning games lately, with physical lockdown coverage that frustrates the best wide receivers and forces quarterbacks into bad throws. Johnson's ability to shut down top receivers aligns perfectly with the Giants' vision of building a dominant defense reminiscent of the great units from the 2007 Super Bowl-winning team or even the 2000 squads that set the standard. The chemistry between Johnson and Banks would be something to watch closely. Their combined coverage EPA is around 44, indicating that together they could form a formidable duo capable of stifling opposing passing games. Johnson's track record of 14 career interceptions and 48 pass deflections shows he's a playmaker who can turn the tide of a game at any moment. His few injury issues, including a concussion in Week 7 last year, are minor concerns compared to the overall value he brings. Meanwhile, the Giants, coaching staff and front office are undoubtedly weighing the long-term benefits of this trade versus the immediate cap implications and draft capital involved. Looking ahead, it's clear that a move like this could set the stage for the Giants to become a much more formidable team in 2024 and beyond. With a more reliable secondary, they could reduce passing yards allowed significantly, making life easier for their pass rush and linebackers. The defense could become a true strength, giving the offense more opportunities to control the game and put points on the board. And in the highly competitive NFC East, where every game counts, having a shutdown corner like Johnson could be the difference in key matchups against teams like the Eagles, Cowboys, and Commanders. Of course, the Bears aren't just going to give Johnson away without a fight. They'll want to get maximum value for their corner, especially considering how well he performed last season and his potential to be a cornerstone of their rebuilding project. But if the Giants can seal the deal, it's a move that could elevate their entire defense and send a clear message. They're serious about competing at the highest level, and they're willing to make bold moves to get there. The NFL is all about those game-changing acquisitions, and this trade rumor might just be the start of a new chapter for Big Blue. Now, fans, imagine the impact this could have on the upcoming season. With Johnson on board, the Giants' secondary could turn into one of the league's most intimidating units. Opposing quarterbacks would think twice before testing Banks or Johnson, knowing they have a duo capable of locking down even the most talented receivers. It's a move that could shift the division's power balance and give the Giants a real shot at climbing back into playoff contention, maybe even making a deep run in the postseason. The Giants' history of building strong defenses is noteworthy. From the early 2000s with players like Michael Strahan, Osi Umenyiora, and a dominant linebacking core, to the 2007 Super Bowl team with its relentless pass rush and secondary, the Giants have always emphasized a stout defense. The current roster has some promising players, like corner Deont Banks, a rookie in 2023 who showed flashes of elite coverage ability, and safeties like Xavier McKinney and Jason Pinnock, who are emerging as key pieces. Adding Johnson would instantly upgrade the cornerback position, giving the team a formidable duo that can match up against top NFC receivers such as A.J. Brown, C.D. Lamb, and Terry McLaurin. Furthermore, Johnson's potential signing or trade could influence the Giants' overall defensive scheme. With a shutdown corner, defensive coordinator Wink Martindale might feel more comfortable dialing up complex blitz packages, knowing the back end is secure. This could lead to increased pressure on quarterbacks, resulting in more sacks and hurried throws, which the Giants' pass rush can capitalize on. The team's overall defensive philosophy would become more aggressive, aligning with their historically physical approach. Looking at individual player stats, Deonte Banks, the Giants' 2023 first-round pick, showed promise with multiple pass breakups and interceptions, but consistency and health remain concerns. Johnson's addition would provide a steady veteran presence, mentoring Banks and other young defenders. Meanwhile, the Giants' linebacker core, led by players like Micah McFadden and T. Crowder, would benefit from the secondary being able to hold coverage longer, allowing them to read plays and make tackles more effectively. In terms of the NFL landscape, the NFC East has become one of the most competitive divisions in recent years, with the Eagles establishing themselves as Super Bowl contenders and the Cowboys always lurking as a playoff threat. The Commanders, with their new ownership and revamped roster, are also looking to climb the ranks. In that context, the Giants' interest in Johnson signals their desire to punch above their weight, to compete with the best on equal footing. A lockdown corner could be the difference-maker in many close games, especially in December and January when playoff spots are decided. From a historical perspective, the Giants' approach to building their defense has always been centered around impactful players who can change the course of a game. Players like Lawrence Taylor, who revolutionized the linebacker position, and recent stars like Olivier Vernon and Leonard Williams exemplify this philosophy. Johnson, with his ability to shut down top receivers and generate turnovers, fits the mold of a game-changer. His presence could instill confidence across the entire defensive unit, fostering a mentality of physicality and relentless pursuit. Focusing on the future, the Giants' front office has shown a commitment to restructuring the roster with young talent and strategic signings. The addition of Johnson aligns with their broader plan to create a balanced team, combining a stout run defense with an aggressive pass defense. This move might also impact their draft strategy, possibly leading to prioritizing defensive playmakers in upcoming rounds, knowing they already have a top-tier corner in Johnson. Expectations for the upcoming season are high among fans and analysts alike. With the potential addition of Johnson, many believe the Giants could leap into playoff contention, perhaps even securing a division title if everything clicks. The NFC East is wide open, and an improved secondary could be the key to flipping a handful of close games in their favor. Moreover, with the offensive side of the ball improving, with Daniel Jones showing growth and new weapons being acquired, the overall team outlook is optimistic. Deep analysis suggests that a shutdown corner like Johnson could also help reduce the mental fatigue of the pass rush. When the secondary performs well, pass rushers can pin their ears back and attack without fear of leaving receivers open. This symbiotic relationship between the secondary and pass rush is well documented in football history, and the Giants' defense could become a textbook example of this synergy. In conclusion, the potential trade for Jaylon Johnson isn't just about adding a talented cornerback. It's about setting a new tone for the Giants' defense and ultimately their entire team philosophy. It's a statement that they intend to be serious contenders, not just for this season but for years to come. The NFC East is a battleground, and with Johnson potentially anchoring their secondary, the Giants could be on the cusp of a renaissance. So, Giants fans, what's your take? Are you excited about this potential move? Do you see Johnson as the final piece to elevate this defense? How do you think this impacts their chances at a deep playoff run in 2024? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments below. Your passion fuels this community, and we want to hear from you. Stay tuned for more updates, rumors, and analysis, because the Giants' off-season saga is just getting started. Let's gear up for an exciting season ahead, one that could see Big Blue rise to new heights.